Hi, I'm Lisa. Let's learn some expressions that native speakers use on a daily basis by looking at real-life examples from a recent newspaper article. We will also talk about some common grammar mistakes that many of my advanced students make. And of course, you will get a chance to practice your accent by repeating after me. There's a lot to learn in this video, so if you're ready for a challenge, let's get started. By analyzing a real-world text like a newspaper article, you will learn to use English in a way that's relevant and practical. I was reading an article from the Los Angeles Times newspaper recently, and I thought to myself, my students need to know these expressions, so I will have to teach them in the next video. You will see the same sentences 3 different times in this video. First, I will show you the sentence and I will read it, and then I will teach you the expressions that I think you need to know. Then, after I teach you the expressions, I will read the same sentences and I will pause to give you a chance to repeat after me so that you can practice your accent. And then at the end of the video, I will give you a quiz. You will see the sentences again, but this time you will need to fill in the blank. You will try to remember the expressions that you learned in this video. The article is about a young man who won the biggest lottery amount in California lottery history. The name of the lottery is Powerball. Last November, the Powerball lottery was worth $2 billion, and a young man in Los Angeles was the winner. About half of that money generally goes to help the California school system, so the young man received $997.6 million. The headline of the article is, "Winner of the $2 billion Powerball jackpot drops $25.5 million on Hollywood Hills mansion." Let's look at the meaning of the word to drop. This one has a different meaning than the one you're familiar with. I'm sure you know the meaning of I dropped my pencil. This one is different. This is a more casual, more slang meaning, and it means to spend a lot of money, to buy something very expensive. Let's listen to how some people used to drop in this way.
Then he dropped a cool $1 million funding a flick called Unplanned.
He apparently dropped $20 million to hop on board a Russian spacecraft.
Hollywood Hills is a neighborhood of Los Angeles that has beautiful homes on the hill. And generally, you can have beautiful views of Los Angeles from those hills. And a mansion is a huge, expensive house. You know the meaning of to waste time. But what does it mean when someone says, he isn't wasting any time, or she isn't wasting any time? That's an idiomatic expression that has a different meaning. Let's look at the first paragraph of the article to learn the meaning of that expression, plus a few others. The winner of the $2 billion Powerball jackpot isn't wasting any time spending the money. Edwin Castro, who came forward last month to collect the record-setting lottery prize, just spent $25.5 million on a new house in Hollywood Hills. Let's look at to not waste any time. We also say to waste no time, and that means to do something very quickly. And often you're surprised that someone did something so fast. The article says, the winner isn't wasting any time spending the money. And that means he bought the house very soon after receiving the money. He didn't wait. We can say he didn't waste any time, or he wasted no time. Peter wasted no time finding another girlfriend. So right after he broke up with one girl, he found another girlfriend. He wasted no time. When you're surprised that someone did something very fast, you can say, wow, you didn't waste any time, did you? Let's listen to how some other people use this expression.
Elon Musk wasted no time in responding to the story in 5 minutes by simply saying, "This is false."
Just a week later, Howard proposed to Pac, and they didn't waste any time saying I do.
Let's look at the meaning of to come forward. That means to present yourself, to make yourself known. We can say a witness came forward with some important evidence. There is a lottery winner, but no one has come forward yet. No one came forward to claim the reward. Let's look at the expression record setting. To set a record. That means to achieve something that no other person or thing has achieved. To do something that no one else has done. We can say, the painting by Picasso set a record when it sold for $5 million. It's a record-setting sale. We've had record-setting rain this season. And let's look at a grammar point now. This is a question that a lot of students have asked me in the past. The sentence said, just spent $25.5 million on a house. Why not 25.5 millions? Why not S? It's clearly plural, so why is there no S at the end of million? Some of my students have been confused by this, because when you give a number in front of an amount, such as 100, 1,000, million, you don't add an S. So we say, it costs $300. No S for 100. But if you say it costs hundreds of dollars, if you don't give the number, then you need an S. Let's look at another example. We can say, I paid $5,000. No S for 1,000 because I gave you the number. I said 5. But if I say it like this, I paid thousands of dollars, many thousands, but I didn't tell you exactly how many. In that case, we have to have an S. And one more example. We can say, the house cost $2 million. No S for million. But when we don't give a specific number, then we add an S. The house cost millions of dollars. And I know what some of you are thinking, why didn't she put an S for cost this time? Because in this case, I was talking about the past tense. This is how much it cost. The house has already been sold. Cost is an irregular verb. Cost, cost, cost. And in the past tense, we never add an S. The house cost millions of dollars. But if the house is still for sale today, then we would say the house costs millions of dollars. Let's read the paragraph again so that you can practice your accent. I will read it and pause to give you a chance to repeat. Repeat after me. The winner of the $2 billion Powerball jackpot isn't wasting any time spending the money. Edwin Castro, who came forward last month to collect the record-setting lottery prize, just spent $25.5 million on a new house in Hollywood Hills. Let's look at the next paragraph to learn some more expressions. Castro, who chose to collect the money as a lump sum of about $997.6 million before taxes, bought the modern mansion under a limited liability company. Records show. The splashy purchase amounts to around 2.56% of his winnings. Let's look at the meaning of lump sum. The article says he chose to collect the money as a lump sum. A lump sum is one payment given at one time. It's a complete payment. It's an amount of money given in a single payment instead of smaller payments or installments. When you win the lottery, you get a choice. You can take everything as a lump sum, you can get all of the money at one time, or you can choose to receive smaller yearly payments for 30 years. What would you choose? Would you choose a lump sum also? Let's practice using lump sum. We can say, she was given a lump sum from her company when she retired. You can receive your bonus in monthly installments or as a lump sum. The article says that he bought the modern mansion under a limited liability company. And that means he didn't buy it in his name, but he formed his own corporation and he bought it under that corporation's name. A limited liability company is also called an LLC. You will often see the letters LLC after a company name, or you will sometimes see it in a logo also. It's a type of corporation, an LLC, a limited liability company. Do you know the meaning of the word splashy? The article says the splashy purchase. If something is splashy, it attracts a lot of attention. Another word is flashy. Maybe you know that word. It's something that's particularly colorful or showy. We can say, they spent a lot of money on the splashy wedding. Wow, that's a splashy dress. When you're wearing something splashy, you want to get noticed. You want to get attention. Let's listen to how some other people used it.
These are splashy headlines with big names and scandal.
And that is much more valuable than any splashy advertising.
I remember making a rather splashy bow.
Yes,
Let's look at to amount to. The article said the splashy purchase amounts to around 2.56% of his winnings. And that means it adds up to. That's the total amount. We can say the cost for fixing my car amounted to $800. Instead of saying what is the total, you can say how much does that amount to? So the purchase of his house amounted to only 2.56% of his whole winnings. And winnings is a noun. The verb obviously is to win. His winnings means the amount of money that he won. Okay, let's read the paragraph again so that you can practice your accent. Repeat after me. Castro, who chose to collect the money as a lump sum of about $997.6 million before taxes, bought the modern mansion under a limited liability company, records show. The splashy purchase amounts to around 2.56% of his winnings. Let's look at the next paragraph. It's the most expensive sale in Hollywood Hills this year and among the neighborhood's priciest ever. Castro got a slight discount on the property, which listed for $29.95 million last summer. Pricey means expensive, so priciest means the most expensive. You can also say costly. Let's not eat at this restaurant. It's too pricey. We can also say property is pricey in this neighborhood. So expensive is a little bit more formal than pricey, but they have the exact same meaning. Do you know the meaning of the word slight? The article talked about a slight discount. Slight means a small amount, not very much. So he got a little discount. We can say, how are you feeling? I'm okay. I just have a slight headache. Tomorrow the weather will be slightly warmer. Let's look at the meaning of the verb to list when it's related to buying houses and real estate. A real estate agent lists the property, and that means the agent makes it available for sale. We can say it was listed for $2 million, but it sold for $1.8 million. The agent listed it. We can also use it as a noun. We can say listing. There is a new listing on the market. When I was shopping for a house, I looked through all of the listings. All right, let's practice the paragraph again. I will pause to give you a chance to practice your accent. It's the most expensive sale in Hollywood Hills this year, and among the neighborhood's priciest ever. Castro got a slight discount on the property, which listed for $29.95 million last summer. Now it's time for you to take a little review quiz. This is a fill-in-the-blank quiz. You will see a sentence with a blank line for the word that you learned, and you will try to remember the word for that sentence. Let's look at the headline first. Do you remember the word? Winner of the $2 billion jackpot, blank, $25.5 million on the Hollywood Hills mansion. Which word did you learn that means to pay a lot of money? Did you say drops? If you said dropped in the past tense, that would make sense, but this is a headline, and very often in newspaper headlines, they use only the present tense, and sometimes they don't use the articles a, on, and the. They just use simple language, so that's why it's drops and not dropped. Let's look at the next sentence. The winner of the $2 billion Powerball jackpot isn't blank, 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 spending the money. 3 words. It's an expression. Do you remember it? The correct answer is wasting any time. He isn't wasting any time. He did it right away. Let's look at the next sentence. Edwin Castro, who came blank last month to collect the record blank lottery prize. The answers are came forward and record setting. Did you get those right? Let's look at the next one. Castro, who chose to collect the money as a blank sum. The answer is lump sum. Let's go to the next one. The blank purchased blank to around 2.56% of his winnings. What kind of purchase was it? It was a splashy purchase. And the verb is amounts to. The splashy purchase amounts to around 2.56% of his winnings. Here's the next one. It's the most expensive sale in Hollywood Hills this year and among the neighborhoods blank ever. Did you say priciest? And that means the most expensive. Let's look at the next one. Castro got a blank discount on the property which blank for $29.95 million last summer. The answers are slight discount, and listed for $29.95 million last summer. I recommend that you keep expanding your knowledge of English vocabulary, and one of the best ways to do that is by reading things outside of your own area of specialty. If you're an engineer, read something outside of engineering. Read on a wide variety of subjects. And I recommend that you get my online course, The 400 Advanced Words You Must Know for Fluent English. All of those words come from my previous lessons when I used to teach in the classroom. I was teaching advanced English communication courses in Los Angeles. Every week I gave my students a different newspaper article and we studied it together. And the words from this course were from the newspaper articles that we were reading. These are the words that were difficult for them. The course contains 7 hours of video instruction, plus all of the 7 hours are downloadable in audio form so that you can listen anywhere. Plus, there are many quizzes along the way to test your progress and downloadable PDFs of all the words and many sample sentences. This course will definitely help take your English to the next level of fluency. Thanks for watching and keep practicing your English. To get the 2 courses, the American Accent course and the 400 Advanced Words You Must Know for Fluent English, go to accurateenglish.com.